I need proposition. There it is. Proposition 209.
I'm recording. I'm recording.
You're making this giant audio file. Are you actually recording?
Mm-hmm.
You're not recording. Are we being recorded? Is this on? Welcome to Split the Difference, the podcast.
You don't have to go.
Episode 0041. I'm Alan.
Are you really starting?
Oh, wait. Are you really recording?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Whoops. You shake it around like you're some kind of like rock star. We get it. You have a lot of hair. But it's not so much that you do all the time.
We're recording.
We're not recording. Did you record that?
Yes. Let's go.
Are you serious?
Let's go.
Oh, wow. You did record that. Oh, boy. Jeez.
Ellen.
Welcome to Split the Difference, the podcast. I'm Alan.
I'm Whitney.
I can't believe you recorded that. By the way, this is episode 0041. I mean, really. Got to be excited about that. 041.
James Bond, Over the Hill.
You know, Skyfall was on last night.
Which one is that one? That's Daniel Craig still, right?
Daniel Craig, Javier Bardem. Spoiler alert, M dies. And I gotta say, when I watched that movie, besides thinking that, wow, it's really convenient that the villain's always a step ahead, even though the villain has no idea that he's going to get caught and how to get out and when all this stuff is going to be accessed.
This sounds like every James Bond movie.
I think about like how enjoyable the underground is. And you know, I look forward to... You let out a bad fart there? What was that?
My dog just farted. He can't stop interrupting the pod.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a little gas. A little gas here, a little gas there.
I mean, it's my fault. I gave him cabbage for dinner, so I did this to myself.
You did. Are you drinking anything tonight?
I'm drinking a Good and Gather, which is they're not sponsored. I'm not going to show you. I'm drinking a bubbly water. They're not sponsored.
What a pump fake.
They can give us. Well, I did say the name. Devotees will know where to get that, but devotees, whatever. If you are a bubbly water aficionado, you know exactly where that came from. But I'm just drinking some bubbly water.
It's one of these, if you know, you know, and if you don't, now you know type deals.
I mean, who knows?
Great way to finish that bit. Mm-hmm. We have a fantastic show. We're going to talk power of the people. We're going to talk Uber, but worse than Uber.
The worst.
And a segment that may never exist again. Tools of convenience, Whitney.
Mm-hmm.
Very excited about that.
Mm-hmm. These are first world tools.
It's going to be a segment where I struggle mightily. But before all of that, I want you to rank something.
Okay.
There are new emojis. They're here. And they're displayed on the screen right here.
Okay.
7 new emojis. Letting out some air in the clouds, like hypnotized eyes, mending a heart on fire, and then, controversially, men with beards, and then women with beards. Whitney, I'd like you to rank these emojis for me. In terms
Am I ranking just based on which ones I like or don't like? Or which ones I'll use the most?
Which ones you'll use the most. That is where we're going here.
I always have to look up certain... Do you ever do this where you have to use an emoji and so you have to look it up and be like, are the praise hands necessary here? Or do I really want like a thumbs up? Do you ever have to do that?
Well, yes. And one of the big issues that I run into is how an emoji's like meaning, what the original meaning is, may not be what everyone else uses it for.
Wait a second. Who decides what these mean? Like who's the committee? I mean, we talk about like the Oscars committee and all that stuff. Who are these people?
Yeah, these fat cats in Silicon Valley
Exactly.
deciding
How do
and
we
dictating
know?
things.
Ugh, representation matters, you guys. Um, okay. Uh, I don't exactly know what spiralize means.
Hypnotize.
Hypnotize. Okay. Okay. I feel like the one that I will probably use the most is the heart with the fire, because I think the emojis that I use the most are the heart emoji
Ugh.
and the fire emoji,
Okay.
I think, followed by the fingers crossed emoji. I think those are my top three. I wonder if
What would
there's a way to figure that out.
what would the how would you use the heart on fire? Like
Um,
is it heartburn, or is like
oh,
you're so
no.
moved?
I think it's that I'm so in love with what I'm seeing. And not like real in love, but just like colloquial in love. Like I can see myself using it when a friend posts something that's like, yo, look at my new I don't know, uh rain boots that's a horrible example because I wouldn't post hearts on fire. What would I post hearts on fire? I would post a heart on fire for like one of my artist friends, like one of their new pieces. If they were like, look what I made, then I might,
I hope they don't sound like that when
give them a
talking
little
about it.
heart on fire. What was that?
I hope they don't sound like that.
Well,
In the
maybe they're a
post.
visual
Look what I
artist. I don't
made.
know. I have some annoying friends. That's fine.
Gotcha.
Okay. They put up with me. I put up with them. So I'd probably use that one the most. I think I would probably next use the mending heart,
Wow.
I guess. I see, but this is all based on, I think I use the hands and then the hearts most. Like thumbs up or peace sign or, like fingers crossed or thumbs down or whatever. I don't actually use the faces that much. So, okay. Fire heart, mending heart. I don't know what the face in the clouds thing is, but I feel like I would use that for
Well, I
like,
think we know what that is.
what is it?
I think that I think somebody may say that their head's in the clouds.
Oh, but they're high.
But I think people will use it as you're high as a
Oh my
kite.
God, yeah. I'm definitely going to use that one.
And so whatever, because I doubt it'll pop up as high as a kite when you like run your cursor over it. But that's
Is there a
exactly what
kite
people are going to use
emoji?
it for.
Yeah. So I'm definitely going to use that one. So I'll say those are still my 1, 2, 3. And then I guess the spiralized one, I don't really know what I would use it for. This sort of exhaling one, what is that, like meditating?
I think it's more so like exasperated. I think I would use that a
Okay.
lot.
I would use that, but I would use it for like, yo, take a breath.
Hmm.
Meditation, blah, blah, blah. And then these beard fucks, I'm not using either of them. I'm not. What am I sending a bearded? I'm not a bearded person. Like, what am I going to send bearded things to people for?
Is this by choice? You're not a bearded person? Like if you didn't shave, like you'd let it ride?
I think if I really, really, really wanted to, I could grow like 2 or 3 hairs here and then like 1 or 2 down here.
Okay.
I think that's really what it would come down to.
Little chinny chin chin action.
Little chin 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 action. I just give it a little every once in a while when I see it sprouting. But yeah, I don't have much in the way of the facial hair or the arm hair. I don't know if you can see that, but
It's very smooth. Very smooth.
yeah,
Okay.
that's weird. Don't comment on my arm hair.
Okay.
Alan, what's
Yes.
your order?
A great question. I'm glad you asked. It's going to be this exhaling thing first because I think I'm going to be tired of a lot of people.
Okay.
Tired of arguments. Tired of the BS.
I'm gonna use. I'm gonna send it back to you when you send it to me to remind you to meditate.
That's deep. That's deep,
Anyway.
Caps. That's real deep.
And then what?
I think I'm going to be using the head in the clouds, but I'm not going to be using it properly, and people are going to clown me for it.
Okay.
And I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I think that the heart on fire,
I don't.
but only when I'm talking
I don't
about.
see you ever using that.
I mean, I don't use them. So I mean, the rest of these I'm never going to use. So
Well, you can't grow a beard, so.
And I've tried so many times, and shout out to KK the Barb, who's not listening but may watch. She's helped out, and I showed her that I couldn't grow a beard, and she gave up hope.
So wait, what was she gonna do?
Oh, she was just like, "You're cutting it too soon. You just need to let it grow. You're not patient enough."
Did she give you the juices and berries?
She told me like I need to rub a certain oil. You need to massage it. Guess what? Patchy.
Patchy.
Patches O'Houlihan. You know what I'm talking about? Dodge a wrench, dodge a ball. Then I'm going to go with spiral eyes, mending heart, and these bearded people. I would be open to the bearded person if they were bald. I think the bias here is that there are no bald bearded folks. I don't like that. Not a fan.
Okay.
And make these beards a little
I'm a big
patchy.
fan of a bald man with a beard. I'll tell you that right now. That is a
lot of people are.
That is a nice combo.
Yeah, it must be nice for them. Such approval.
I just want to point out really quick. I'm scrolling through our text messages here, and I think I'm in 2019.
No, but we're in 2020.
No, I think I'm in 2018. No, I'm in 2019 here.
In Chicago.
And we have used emojis with one another twice. Do you want to guess what they are?
I'm assuming that I sent you a thumbs up.
No.
Oh, good.
What do you think I sent you?
A middle finger.
That, you know what? It's very on brand. No, I sent you a sad face. You also sent me a sad face. That's what we sent each other.
Was it an immediate response?
No, they're two separate. This is one
Gotcha.
was up and one was down. But yeah, so now we're going to have to start using it. So get ready. I'm about to send you a bunch of bearded white dudes.
I don't know if they're, oh my God, my light
Jesus.
went off.
Jesus.
I'm back, baby. Back and better than ever.
Jesus. What just happened to you?
The lighting was rough, and I don't have my tech people here because of COVID-19.
Fired.
So, the solo.
Fired.
And so we're just going to make it happen. Caps, first topic.
Let's do it.
Power of the people. There's a story out in California. I don't know if you heard about this, a little election coming up. And in California, it's proposition season with respect to the ballots. Let me just clarify that. And in particular, there's a call to roll back Proposition 209, which essentially banned preferential treatment in public education based on race, ethnicity, and sex. And so right now on the upcoming ballot is Proposition 16, which is a constitutional amendment that will essentially repeal the affirmative action ban. This is what we're ultimately talking about. There's one part of the conversation, Whitney, that is around your thoughts on affirmative action. We've talked a little bit about this before.
Sure.
The more interesting part, in my opinion, is what are the things that should be up to the people to decide? And I think as we look at what's going on in the world and a lot of big votes that are going to be coming up in a lot of different chambers, I think it's always kind of a refresher and kind of useful to think about what do we want people to actually decide. So I open it up to you on both topics because I think we can cover a lot of ground here. So
I would say my first question, and this may be dipping a little bit into explainer territory, is do these sort of propositions only happen at state levels, or can they happen like at any level? Like could like a local county have a proposition up, or like have we ever seen propositions that are federal?
Oh, absolutely. I think it really is driven by the rules of the jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, we have propositions here in Chicago, some are non-binding. Let's also be very clear. When they're
So what does that mean? So that would mean like this gives the
survey.
Yeah. That's essentially what it is it's like, we just kind of want to know how you feel about this, but we're not going to do anything about it.
How would you feel about if we legalize marijuana and this non-binding resolution here, or non-binding proposition, and then a whole bunch of people vote and they're like, okay, thank you.
We're going to take this under advisement. Well, I think to answer your question about like, what do I think is good for people to decide and what do I think is not, I guess I sort of feel like I don't trust my fellow citizens.
Oh no.
And I don't really trust my elected officials. So I'm just sort of feeling like I should decide everything. It's not really where I thought the end of that sentence was going to go when I started it.
Well,
but
it usually comes after the beginning.
I mean, it's just, it's a wild adventure. Every single sentence is just open for a possibility. So I think I'm totally fine with something like this that has to do with education. I think that's a kind of thing that I think most people can really get behind or they're excited about. But again, it's like I could see something like affirmative action. I do think a lot of people have, I don't know, fake news that they ascribe to or subscribe to around something like that. I mean, as much as I feel like education decisions should be made by the taxpayers and by the people that are using those services, I think it's also a very fraught topic. Does that make sense? Like affirmative action specifically.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think one of the difficulties about any time that you're going to the people to decide things is you want them to have a baseline understanding of what the thing is. And you actually spent time in California, way more time than I have, and you're way more familiar with the manipulation of language when it comes to these propositions and how things are written. And I know there's voter guides that go out and there's controversy about how all of that's framed. You know, I think that affirmative action is or a policy that essentially creates or bans affirmative action is probably at the level of something that I would be okay with the people deciding, provided that it's, you know, legal within, you know, the state Supreme Court structure and the US Supreme Court. I think it gets dicey. I actually don't think it gets dicey. I'm pretty against individual right questions being decided by the people.
So something like weed?
I don't know. If we're thinking California or whatever, something like same-sex marriage.
I see. Okay.
And, you know, obviously that was a massive amount of tension and relief, but those were questions that were put to the people multiple times, and the people felt differently at one time versus another. But in my eye, with the things that are conferred with, say, marriage and like as like a changing of your status with the state, I don't know if I want someone's preferences of who they want to be with for the rest of their life for the next like 18 months to be decided by like other people, because I don't think that's up to other people. And so I think that's where it gets kind of precarious. I think marijuana is probably on one of those lines where I think I could see how it would be left to the hands of the people. Now, I should also say, I think that the will of the people, while appropriate, it should not come maybe above the will of the legislators that the people elect. So if the folks say, "Hey, I don't want this marijuana legal," and then the legislative body is like, "Cool story, bro, or sis, I'm going to change this around." I think that's okay as well. And I think that may get dicey as well.
Yeah.
Do you go to the will of the people over the system of elected officials and representatives? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a bias that I have around the will of the people may perhaps be a little bit more virtuous. And I don't mean virtuous in that people are always acting out of like, I don't think that people are always hoping for good outcomes. Like, I think sometimes people really do want other people to suffer. And I think it's more real. It's more authentic. Sometimes I think about the will of the legislators being sort of like a confluence of, yeah, okay, I'll take into account what my constituency wants, but also I have to keep these donors happy over here. And also I have my own personal morals and I got to think about reelection, and there's more calculus involved. And if you'd ask me tomorrow, perhaps I have a different opinion on all of it. But I think I'm particularly cynical right now when it comes to everything, to be fair. But I think especially like our government at the moment, the state is not my good books.
Let me ask you, because one of the things I do like is the fact that California in particular allows people to decide on like public use of funding for projects like stadiums. And thankfully the wise people of California are like, this is a waste of money. This is not a good investment. And so we're not going to support this. Do you think that there's a room for people deciding things like events?
Say more about that. Like, what do you mean?
I don't know, like if you want to host the Olympics?
Yeah.
Or like citywide kind of events that will take a lot of resources that could confer differential benefits. Do you think there's room for, because these projects are organized independently by, frankly, private entities and public spaces. Should there be a role for the cities to say, yeah, we don't want the Olympics here, or we don't want whatever event here, the draft or a marathon or something like that? Is that a space? Because I would say I'm pretty in favor of that.
Yeah, for sure. I also think Chicagoans would vote to keep the marathon every single time. But I do think that the citizens, the folks who actually live in the area, are a pretty important stakeholder when you consider things like that. I mean, hosting the Olympics would be a huge, huge issue and inconvenience in Chicago. And I think we both know that Olympic Games never make any money. And so it's a really challenging thing for a city to take on. And I just don't think Chicago would handle it well. Now, I mean, I'd be fine with it, I suppose, because I could Airbnb my place and I have a certain amount of privilege that I can get away from a lot of this. And I still would just be like, no, thank you. As much as I like watching the Olympics, I don't want it in my backyard. No, thank you.
Should people get to decide names of sports teams, Whitney Caps?
Ooh.
Because this is how you get weird things like the Toronto Raptors. Like,
I think that's a fine name.
It's a stupid name because the team came in existence around the time where Jurassic Park was popular and they were really into raptors. That's the only connection. There's nothing special about dinosaurs in Toronto. T-Dot.
I don't know that that's true. Maybe we haven't dug enough. Like, maybe we just don't know. Maybe everybody should be going and like looking for more dinosaur bones. I don't know. So I just want to point out there is an article from, I want to pull this up, from 2016. And this is in the BBC of all things. There was a ship that was from the National Environmental Research Council.
Floyd McFloatface.
Bodie McBoatface. So basically, a popular DJ made a note of like, hey, there's this, contest. The National Environmental Research Council is trying to rename this boat. A boat, by the way, that will replace the RRS Ernest Shackleton, which is like a really awesome name. For those that don't know, Shackleton kept all of his men alive in some Arctic adventure or something. And they didn't eat each other. He kept them all alive. But people wanted the boat to be named Bodie McBoatface.
Terrible.
124,000 votes. The second most popular choice, the Poppy Mai, had 34,000 votes. So I think you give people the opportunity to name something and they will probably act poorly.
I mean, we tell people to vote for judges and people have no idea how to assess judges. The idea that they'll be assessing affirmative action policy a little much, but whether we're going to have a big sporting event, whether we're going to have a certain set of allocations for a thing, I'm okay with.
Yeah. For the record, for judges, I always just look at the endorsements. You know what I mean?
I know what an endorsement is, yeah.
No, I just mean like that for me is a shorthand of like, okay, if these people over here who I generally agree with think this person would do a good job, I say not these people. I mean like organizations, right? Like Personal PAC or the AFL-CIO or I don't know, certain publications in Chicago that I think are really reputable. Like that's a really good sign for me of like, okay, they've got the backing of these people. I feel like, I can feel pretty confident. I mean, I still try to do as much research as possible. Hey guys, ballot ready, ballotready.org. Is it .org, Ellen?
I mean, I don't know, but you were talking about sponsorship. I mean, we give them this free sponsor. We need to get them to pay us.
Ballotready.org.
Yeah, nice job with the pen in your mouth.
Everybody. It doesn't matter, okay? My charm comes from my off the cuffness. So I'm just going to pull it up, ballotready.org.
Is it working for you today?
Yeah, it's working. Oh, this is a little bit. Oh my God, surprise, you guys. I'm going to vote for Joe Biden.
Wow. Wow, that's a little, I didn't know we were breaking news tonight.
Anyway, ballot ready. It's really wonderful. Please go. You put in your zip code. They show you your ballot. It's all of the research in one place. So you can click to like, I want to know what their policy is on criminal justice reform. You can click and it will show you all the sources where they've, shared something. Anyway.
Well done.
Well done.
We have to get some folks on the show here. And then we need to get at least a sweatshirt or something and pay us for this.
I don't know. Would you wear a ballot ready sweatshirt?
In a heartbeat. Listen, if I like the group, I will walk around with their gear all the time. Let's be very clear. And I'm talking to a lot of people out there. I'm not going to name names. You know what I'm interested in. There's some big fish I'm trying to land here. And we're a big fish in a small pond if you only think about us and one other podcast. That said, I'll wear your gear. No problem with that.
All right. Well,
NPR who?
Talk about propositioning.
Well done, Caps.
Thank you. I liked it.
Is that what you did there?
I liked it. So speaking of really bad ideas.
Professional segue.
You know how like every new company that comes out is like, well, we're the Uber for getting your clothes washed.
Laziness.
Or whatever.
Yes.
Well, yeah, laziness. But I also think it's like the laziness of investors as well. Like they can't really think beyond, this one particular premise. I need to think of everything in this particular box. But anyway, and I guess it's not just investors, it's users, it's everyone. So there is a new hot app out on the app stores now. It's called Civil, Civvl. And they're Uber for the worst day in everyone's lives.
What do you mean?
Wouldn't you like to know? So this company bills themselves as the Uber for evictions.
Jesus.
You didn't know you needed that, did you?
Terrible.
So
that's actually terrible.
It's so terrible. So of course, this is probably not news to you, good viewer, but we are in a crazy economic spiral that has created this incredible issue around housing, right? Most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So when they lost their jobs or were somehow furloughed or, got their income cut during the pandemic, they were really relying on government assistance to help support them to pay rent as they continue. That assistance has run out. Our elected officials don't give a fuck. And so we're actually seeing like a record number of evictions being set for this fall. I don't exactly know when those protections run out. I know the first moratorium on evictions was, I think, August 1st. Does that sound right, Alan?
Sounds about right. I don't have the exact date in front of me here, but
But really, we just know that there's a lot of people that are going to run into trouble within the next couple of months. And those people are landlords who need people to come and force you out of your home. Alan, what would it take in your life for you to sign up to be a contract evictor for Civil?
This is a really, oh wow, came in hot there. This is a really difficult topic for me or question to answer because I don't want to remove who the bad person is or the bad entity. Because to answer your question, if I didn't have a job and I needed money, I would do this, right? And I think that it's the predatory nature of it's exploiting on two sides.
Yeah.
It's the exploitation of the pandemic to be part of the app talks about needing people to haul things away or needing people to go and serve papers to folks. Yeah. And so it's relying on literally, to your point, people at their lowest bits of desperation or the highest bits of desperation trying to survive month to month. But at the same time, the reliance on me is I need to also be in a situation where probably I'm struggling and this is an outlet for me.
Yeah.
And I think it's in the crudest sense, good business because it's exploiting the market.
Yeah.
But the exploitation's so deep. And so there's a part of me that really wants to make sure, I guess all of me wants to make sure that I don't put upon my judgment on the people that may need to do this so that they can avoid having one of these civil folks come to their home or workplace.
Yeah.
But like, my gosh, like to think about this, everything needs to be gigged out, the gig economy, and that has extended from, ride sharing to home sharing to foods delivery services to now actually removing your stuff or you from your home. Like it's kind of just a sick but natural end to where all of this was going.
Yeah. So the website looking for folks to serve as, and they don't have a word for it, I suppose, but sort of civil evictors, lists the fastest growing money making gig due to COVID-19. I mean, it's
sick.
really clear exploitation, exactly what you're saying here. At first glance, we're pulling from a Vice article here, but at first glance, they say that it seems to be a little bit of a Nathan for You-esque prank. I know you love a little Nathan for You.
Love Nathan for You.
But really, Civil is connected to a larger and real gig economy company called On Call, that's call with a Q, which describes itself as an app that provides on-demand task services to non-urban communities beyond basic city areas. So this would be like for folks who live outside of popular ranges for things like TaskRabbit. And they also have apps like Lawn Fixer, Clean Quick, and Move Quick, which all are spelled terribly.
Like a bunch of tools.
And
this is all of this. And I listen, this is a much bigger issue, and I cut you off and I apologize.
No, go ahead.
It drives me up the wall when I see people that are supposed to be praised for their intelligence, their brilliance, their technical savvy, the way that they can pitch anything. And all they do is just come up with the worst names. They want to slap some letters together, like civil with the two V's, but there's no vowel between the second V and the L. Quick, not with the KW, but with the QW. Like no CK, just put the K there. You're not. It is the height of simplicity and basicness. Yeah. You're not clever. You're a simple human being with simple ideas and are just exploiting people and are predatory in nature, but you want to hide behind your alignment of different letters and your rejection of vowels. I hate that the signs of where money should go from investors that are not paying attention to what's happening, do not care about the consequences of what they're investing in, and are usually not going to have any quality rate of return, are just, oh my goodness, it's so savvy. Look at the letters. Get it civil.
Yeah.
Get out of here. I really hate it.
There are many reasons to believe that the people behind this app are fully and completely given up on any humanity that they have in them. They have taken cameos from a couple sort of low-level celebrities and then used them to promote this. And those celebrities are like, no, we actually have nothing to do with this particular app. They have taken quotes from the New York Times they have said they've taken quotes from the New York Times. There's no evidence that any of the quotes they're using in their marketing materials were ever actually printed in the Times. And the writer of the Vice article noted that when they tried to reach out to the company to get comment on what was happening, they then blocked that writer's IP address from accessing anything on their account or anything on their website. So these people know that they're doing something wrong. They are technical grifters. I mean, these are people that are going to come in, they're going to make as much money as they can, they're going to throw whatever at the wall and see what sticks. This is really like the worst of what our tech industry can create. This is a Frankenstein monster that doesn't just want to give you flowers. I really don't know the real story of Frankenstein, so I probably should have just
Big Frank.
Let that one go. But this is maybe the fourth worst story I've seen this week.
That's saying something.
Yeah, it's been a shitty week.
Yeah, it is. You know what really brightens up one's spirits, Whitney Caps?
Tell me. Please tell me.
Food.
Oh my God, it's the best.
Food does.
The best. I'm cooking something in the other room right now.
I have a question for you, and it's a very simple question. How do you feel about burritos?
How do I feel about them?
Your thoughts?
I feel good about them. I feel as though a good burrito requires some real care and attention to detail. You know, like you can't be eating it and then all of a sudden you just get a mouthful of nothing but guacamole. Like that doesn't work. I love the bowl because you have more choice in each bite.
Sure.
But a burrito's just a bowl, but not. Bowl you can hold in your hands.
One of the issues with burritos, besides the proportion of all the contents, is it gets messy. You're taking a bite, you're not eating it right, the food's spilling out, the beans are here, a little sauce here, a little guac. It can be a messy proposition.
Yeah.
Whitney, I'm going to share my screen here and show you a GIF of a burrito push pop type situation. Yeah, it's GIF.
A burrito what?
Push pop type situation. Do you see this? Look at this. I don't know if I shared the right screen.
This isn't real.
Look at this.
This isn't real.
Put the burrito in this device and you slide it up and you take a bite out of it.
Oh my God, you weren't kidding. It is a push pop. It's a push pop for burritos.
It's a Kickstarter campaign out here.
Oh, so this isn't real.
It's soon to be real.
Oh my gosh.
It's soon to be real.
Did you back it?
Whoa, don't put that on me. Do not put that on me.
Okay.
It's essentially Madeline Woods was inventing this this thing that looks like a chapstick for your burrito. It's called the Burrito Pop. It's accepting pre-orders right now on Kickstarter. The retail price, Whitney Caps, around $50.
No. Mm-mm.
Listen, you got it. We talked about these grifters out here. You got to pay for genius, like the Burrito Pop up there, saving your hands.
Well, but to be fair, a Kickstarter basically is if people like it, you have your built-in market is right there. It's the people who donate to your thing, right? You don't have to find a market. It either gets successful and then you've got your market right there and then you can start making it or not, right?
I mean,
I don't know. I've never done a Kickstarter.
Well, listen, if you're thinking about supporting a Kickstarter, I mean, you go out and you put any burrito in this thing, it's going to slide up there.
Well, wait, how do you know? How do you know that your burrito's the right size?
Listen, you're asking about.
I got one from Jerky Jerk on California the other day. That was a really what? Can I see the size of that thing again? The woman is holding it in her hand. What, like this? Like not football, like softball?
A little bit here. Let me dial it up
so
here.
Softball size.
Yeah, let's pull it up here, right here. Let's get a good look at this.
Yeah, maybe.
Look at the size of the burrito she's putting in there.
Oh my God, no! Look at her hands. Okay, yeah, the Jerky Jerk burrito could have fit in there.
Look at the twist, and look at that bite. That's hearty.
I mean, she does look like she's enjoying herself.
How does it twist up like that?
What do you mean? How does it twist? It's just like a chapstick. It's like a piece of plastic on a little.
Yeah, but you know what happens at the end of the chapstick thing? You turn and then you open it up and it falls out right to the end. Is that going to be a problem with this?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but at that point, you've avoided most of the mess.
That's fair.
Let me tell you something. You're going to be upset about. I think. Okay. I knife and fork it.
Oh.
Burrito. Do you want to leave? Are you leaving?
I just didn't know I was around such high class people. You know, I could put a suit on and come back and finish the podcast. I mean, honestly, knife and fork. Why?
Knife and fork.
Who does
because
that?
It's messy.
Because
it's messy. But let me be real with you. Burrito is not my first choice. I'm usually tacos.
How do you feel about the burrito bowl, Miss Knife and Fork?
No, burrito bowl. That's what I'm saying. Like the bowl actually is the best because you can control the bite. You can get the right proportion of the right things every time. With a burrito, you are at the mercy of gravity and whatever 16-year-old wrapped it up for you at Chipotle. I mean, we've all been 16 once, like no shade. I'm just saying.
That's easy for you to say.
You were 16.
Okay, don't put my business out there in the streets, okay?
That's
That's personal.
super weird.
Okay, now Caps,
Yes.
this is something that is decidedly not needed.
No.
But people are supporting it. The burrito lovers out there are getting behind this.
Ah.
Whitney, I think this opens up time for you to set up our segment called Tools of Convenience.
Tools of convenience. So yes, these are first world tools that you buy when you have a little bit of extra money in your pocket and you're at Bed Bath & Beyond and you look up and on that giant pillar where they've just got stuff, you're like, I need that thing that cleans underneath my toilet. I need that thing. I've never looked under there, but it's got to be filthy.
Yeah.
Or when, Amazon says, you should add this to your cart because it's so similar to the thing you already bought. These are tools that really you shouldn't bring out when people come over unless you want to get roasted, just totally torn apart. So I asked Alan to think of this, and I told Alan that I thought that his tool would be sports related. So I want to see if I'm right. But at first, I want to show you my tool of convenience.
We have a visual here.
I've got to share the audio. It's really important that you
have
get
a
the
video
full.
Here. This is incredible.
I have a video. It's just really important to me that you hear what's happening here. Are you ready?
I'm ready here. Let's see what we got here.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Kitchen for the chef in you. Cooking gadgets for the work you do. Gourmet coffee and the tools to do. Kitchen for the chef in you.
I hate all of these people.
Why do you hate them?
It can be frustrating.
So we don't need to
trying fish
actually
pickles
hear
and
him talk
jalapenos
about
out of
this,
the jar.
but I do.
What is she doing? What is she stabbing her head?
Handle
She's not
condiments.
stabbing her head.
Make sure to check them out the next time you're in Kitchen
This is a
Kitchen,
pickle picker.
located in the Indian Shopping Center, just on the corner.
That's what
of
I
Cook
have.
on Highway 111.
Kitchen for the chef in you.
Okay, let me show you more about the pickle picker. Pickle picker
You have
is...
a pickle picker upper.
I do. I have a pickle picker upper. So here's the thing. If you like pickles, you understand. Here we go. I'll show you this one. If you like pickles, you understand that there is a saga involved in getting the pickles out that are lower down. Like, yeah, the ones that are up top, sure, you just grab a fork.
Right.
If you live alone, you put your hand in it.
Oh.
Right? Stop talking to me, okay?
Okay.
All I'm saying is you get a pickle picker.
It's gross.
Right? So here's what you do. You push this little plunger in. You see this guy's hand. You push this little plunger in, and it opens the claw thing, and then you let it go when you've got the pickle, and then you pull the pickle out of the jar. So I have one of those. I eat a lot of pickles.
Yes.
I don't want my hands getting gross all the time.
Clearly, fork and knife over here. Absolutely.
So, and I don't want to stab it. Like there's a thing where you could like take the fork and you could stab it at the bottom and
Yes.
get your...
That's how I would do it.
That's not necessary. Okay? We live in the United States of America. So get a pickle
Sports.
picker. That's all I'm trying to say.
Sports.
It's like $6.99. Bed Bath & Beyond. Come on. Alan,
Yes.
what's your tool of convenience?
I've really struggled with this as a thing.
Because you're such an ascetic.
Here.
A monk. Look at his collar. You know what I'm saying?
It's rounded collar, I mean, look at that. Little rounded collar.
Anyway.
Whitney, it's not sports related, but it is video game related, and it has to do with a sports video game. It is not necessary at all to have your own steering wheel.
No.
It's not. People play video games all the time with without a steering wheel. They just have the
No.
controller. I've in the past, and I may be looking to upgrade for the holiday season with a new steering wheel and pedals that you could attach.
Pedals?
and a shifter. So you can.
Alan. Alan. I'm worried about you. My thing is $6.99 from Bed Bath & Beyond. That's going to be $78.99. You're kidding me.
It's $180. Now, here's the thing. Don't you want to have the feel of being, at the road course at Watkins Glen, and you get hard down in turn one? Don't you want to sometimes, instead of, you got the controller in your hand, you like lean with
Alan,
it? But here, what if I could just turn the wheel and give it a nice little turn?
Alan, it's not attached to anything.
Oh, it's attached to the desk. Just give it a turn. Have the monitor here. You're in car. Listen. I understand that this is your earlier point. Something that would get you just absolutely clowned, absolutely just roasted if someone came over and saw.
Yes. But no one's allowed in your house, so what's?
That's correct, because I wouldn't want them to distract me. But I can understand that people may not respond the same way I do to having your own steering wheel for your video game. And what if you need to go put it in the 6th gear? I want to be able to click the little shifter and then put my foot down. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've driven a car before, so I do know what you're talking about.
Stunned that
That was stunned. So much worse than I thought it was going to be.
Single man right here. How about that?
I am appalled.
Listen.
I asked.
You did. So. Think about if you were to take your steering wheel off of your car and brought it inside, brought the pedals inside, hooked up a little thing we like to call Mario Kart, and just got after it.
No, I'm fine playing Mario Kart the way I play Mario Kart. Which is barely winning.
What if you had a steering wheel?
I don't think it would make a difference. What's the position you have to be in to move on? 4th place? I think you have to be in 4th place to move on to the next one, right?
What Mario Kart are you playing?
Isn't that a thing where when you play with everyone and you're like, okay, well, I need to advance to the next one, but you can only advance if you're so high in the rankings? Isn't that a thing?
When's the last time you
cut all
Mario
this out?
Kart? No, we have to leave this in.
So I have an N64.
There it is.
So that probably
there it is.
That was information you needed.
Information for life.
Yeah, I can't hook it up to my TV. My TV is so new and the N64 is so old that they're ships passing in the night. They'll never make sweet, sweet chord love. Just won't happen.
Well, that prevents me from bringing up any of my other tools. Now, since we're at this point, let's talk recommendations. We've been recommending a lot of things in this last segment, but this is the part of the show where we actually make a direct recommendation to you. Whitney, do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
You go first, because I think I went first last time.
Okay, let me get my hair. Let me get my hair.
For those listening on the podcast version, Alan's just rubbing his bare head. And you're missing out on my curls, which, I'm sorry.
Jeez.
I'm sorry.
Basic recommendation here. And I'm looking outside, and I'm looking at students have returned to the University of Chicago. They shouldn't be here, but they have returned nonetheless. Not my commentary. And COVID testing is all the thing that people should be doing. Recommendation: go get a flu shot. Get a flu shot. Very simple. Every year we go through this exercise. I've never got the flu. It's okay. Herd immunity, or as some people in the White House say, herd mentality. Stop it. Go get a flu shot. Very easy. Take care of yourself. Take care of the people around you. It's the right thing to do. You can get it everywhere. Everywhere that you get COVID testing, you could probably get a flu shot. So just go and do it. That's my recommendation.
All right. I think it's been a while since I got one. I think I stopped getting flu shots when I stopped working with kids. I think.
Kids.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Now you're working with adults.
Yeah. They're cool. But, they also don't really want the flu. So
yeah,
I get it.
All right.
recommendation this week is a program called Mural, Mural. It's a really cool collaboration software that you can use. So you can do sort of like synchronous movement. So we're all on Zoom right now. Sometimes it's like painful to be in meetings with people trying to like collaborate and get stuff done. Mural's really cool. I've only started using it, and I'm using it for what's essentially like a whiteboard function. So what you would do is you'd create the setting for the whiteboard, you'd assign people colors, and then we can each add to a whiteboard at the same time. So you would use it in concert with Zoom, or you would use it instead of Zoom, or what have you. But essentially you're able to mimic what it would be like in a space with real people trying to collaborate and work on something. But they have a whole host of stuff. It's like a full suite of different collaboration tools. There's like timers that you can use. There's ways to like actually hide parts of your presentation. So if you're building something for like a full day with your team, you can have it in sections and they can, you know, kind of go in when you're ready for them to go. It's just a really cool tool. And I have been really struggling thinking about how to recreate a lot of the stuff that I do with clients in this virtual space. I think one of the things is we really have to communicate more frequently. We have to be more clear because we don't have the ability to just like be in each other's faces all the time. And I think this is a really great way to do it. I think it's a bit of an investment for a team, but I think it's something that people could really, really enjoy. So Mural, mural.com. Their programs are really, really cool, and you can try them for free. And if they really work, you can expand with not a lot of investment. I think an individual license is only $12 a month. So if you have like one person in your team that's responsible for all the trainings and stuff, it's $12 to have access to like this full suite of tools. So I highly recommend. I think it's a good tool.
12 buckaroos. Mural.
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 Yeah. And I mean, like I use it for some creative projects and stuff too. And I'm just really learning. I don't know that I'll pay for like a full license. But we were using Jamboard, which is a Google tool, which is free. And there are some limitations to that we just needed to work around. And so I just started, you know, tapping into this Mural life. And I gotta say, it's a lot of what Google has and then some. So I've been happy with it.
I like that they left the vowels there to spell their word.
Oh yeah, it could have just been MRL. Would we have known that it was Mural?
No.
It was MRL. What would you have thought it was?
What if it's MURL?
That's how they would have done it.
We got some big time investor.
Yeah, but I'm going to go ahead and bet that Mural doesn't have fake quotes from the New York Times, and they're not going to hide your IP address if you ask them a question.
Yeah, who do they think they are? The president? All right.
Alan?
Yes.
It's a good show.
I thought it was a good show as well.
Did you have fun?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I had great fun. I had big fun in Baltimore. That's a little inside cut for you Cosby Show fans.
Did not know that.
You could tell us how much you enjoyed the show at SplitDiffCast on Twitter. You can email the show and say, wow, you all are so great. I had so much fun. And then I probably won't respond, or I'll be like, yeah, thanks, we know. At splitthediff@gmail.com. That's how you can reach us.
That's how you can reach
rate,
Alan.
review, subscribe. Us. And on that kind note, us. And yeah, so you don't know how it's going to show up here. You don't know. No, it's the other way.
What's this way?
Mm-mm.
I'm pointing at you right now.
No, you're not.
Now I'm pointing at you?
Major switch. Oh, that was too easy. That's the end of the show.
I
0041. Ciao.
Bye.